Hey, what's up guys? So we're back with some more Katawa Shoujo. Okay, so I'm not as sick today, so I think I'm gonna be kind of better for this video. Okay. During afternoon classes, a long-haired girl came back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. Yay, Hey, is this new? Oh wait, no, this is the front. Oh, never mind. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby, latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed. Enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. Ha ha ha, what's wrong, Hachron? That's right, we're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, it's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason it just seems like it would be so plausible. I don't know, this school's pretty weird, I guess anything can happen. Getting to the student council room was as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seems a little silly. That's not true, Shichan. Shichan says that... Yeah, I want to try to start saying the actual names wrong, right? Shichan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression changing, Misha sighs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Ha ha ha! Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerfully. Stop that. I don't know you heard me. Wait, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it's quite large, maybe a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked on one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. The most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean no? Does it mean that nobody else is coming? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why, I don't know why I suck today. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hey, Sean, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Haha, okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. Misha spends a little too long for her liking, running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial. Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, twisting her arms through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing on to me. I start the feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agree to this. Halfway through the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hey John, Shichan wants you to know that you're taking too long to make a move. Shichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no! Shichan admires your fighting spirit and would be benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha ha ha! You're so competitive, Shizune. These girls are crazy. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. See, I guess I'm just stupid because I can't even pronounce this. Magnanimous. She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index finger against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Oh, wait, please slow down, Chichan. Chichan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childish mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Disappoint. Attack aggressively. The trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. I think she's probably trying to trick me. It's a trap! It's like that. She's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up. I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Wow. I didn't see that coming. Wait, can I actually go back? I bet I can. Wait, can I? Probably not. Okay. Whatever. I didn't see that coming. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Wahaha, Chichan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Chichan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious, because it provides a 5 army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Chichan, your play needs more daring. Ambition. I was pretty excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively, just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Chichan. You didn't take enough risk, and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Chichan. And we chose exactly the wrong thing. Damn, what's it to her if I play too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. Oh. Wonder if you'd even be any good for student council. What's this, reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, if Shizune's trying to taunt me into joining the council. Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at my other clubs yet, and these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, John? You're not just saying that to make us feel better. Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to. Aw. Okay, John, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me, unless we graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Waha, surely you are not that horrible at the board games. Maybe we can play a game you know then, or to give you a handicap. Might have said that just to make you feel better, after all. Aw, that's cold, Achan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the library is absent. I think you're right, Chichan. We think the library is open. It's on the 2nd floor. We can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, that picture changed. Oh, we're probably in a different hallway, I guess. One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. The 2nd floor hallway is a carbon copy of the 3rd floor. I knew it. Quiet, of course, and plain like always can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hall? I got on the ladder and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar, so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at the moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks, as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head in after ever further inside the gain side of the room as fast as possible. The meek hello on my lips is quietly snatched away. Whoa, what's this? This is not what I expected. menacingly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. "Hello there, may I help you?" Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seems to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi, sorry for intruding, I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if she's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup on the saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling, and that slightest cloudiness to her eyes means that she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. That's a Harry Potter kid, I think. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of reflex confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. "I take it you're a new student to Yamaku." Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday." I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't make the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting, one which I hasten to match, before realizing the futility of the action. "I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you." Hisao Nakai." She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. "Would you care for a drink?" Sure." As much as it pains me, I can't help step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here and a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me. And Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer of preparing the drink. "So," her soft voice brings me out of a silent observance. "Which room would you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school." "The school library," Shizune, and some classmates told me if it was on the floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods. A small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicates it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in a science room with Mutao. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Hey, oh wait, that's me. I just realized, yeah, I guess we saw our character in the first cutscene. I guess I forgot about that. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Satao. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quietly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself with a foul pass. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure, sorry. I guess I'm really showing my new... wait, what did I say? My newness here. Sorry, I didn't know that was a word. Just kidding. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would have included her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. I siege into another. You come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her vision of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms, okay, to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. To think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. Whoops. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I was just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it's encouraged. Ah, good, that's a relief. I've really let down my guard around the skull to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to be slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Well, I guess we're like there all day. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the lights coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seemed to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Sao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think about it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. Quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. Huh. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it alright. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me again. Which they seem to have the habit of doing. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great, thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped into the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway and the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air since the library doesn't seem to be present. Librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course, Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Ah! The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up the extremely rigid attention. Hi Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her hand. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. I see. See, I dropped an eraser into my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came in and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. Ha ha ha. The girl fidgets with her fingers, as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and very troubled look, she seems to fit a librarian perfectly. Oh, Lily, did you get my message? Message, huh. Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Mr. Celebration's partially from managing the change of topics, I'm sure. She notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right, Hisao. I don't know if Hisao or Hisao. It's like, I'm not sure. Probably someone will correct me, but I'm just saying. I don't know this Japanese. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. I'll just say Hisao until, I get corrected. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name of her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get. But how her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops in my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to. Not exactly relaxed, but at least looks slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yambuka's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on the new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shove all of them. It's so troublesome and they waste so much. I wish I could get to quit this job. Very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I will check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I will have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choices in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. As if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily and snuck with us in here. Unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for a study or personal readings. Going a little further, though, I discovered a nice, quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's a dark-haired girl from the class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. I just realized there is something wrong with her face. I'm not sure. The way she was acting today, I had her pledged as more as a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue flows slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards a mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long-haired, dense bangs, I can see the part of her face, at least a third of it, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I am shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands, before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Hi, I'm new here, so within the same class. She looks pretty excitable, I'll probably just say this. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods just a little. Okay. I take the seat next to her and she hides herself behind her book. Life of Pi. Never heard of it. I just saw that movie. Holy mother of... Oh god. That's some weird stuff. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. I know. We're in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it is barely audible, even in the Stoll library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I resist the urge to say, that's a nice name, just to have something to say, but really, it's the only thing I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about the kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading, I'll just check these books out if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and the introduction of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while I realize that she's doing the same, and only pretending to immerse in Life with Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. Oh, shit. That's kind of scared me. She stands out forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I've got to go do something! Okay. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kinda shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I had better try and find her. Sure, I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right, I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing, I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I can think of was that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. While she is a very timid girl, you have to be very careful around her. She can be very jumpy. I think she's accustomed to talking with other people. Is that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuka doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. I'm actually going to end this episode here, because it's been quite a while. Same progress. Okay, so... So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will... I guess I'll see you next time, I guess. Probably... Bye.